From Studio 3 at Buzz TV, it's The Horse's Mouth with Tom McManus.
All right, time now for Campo's Corner here on The Horse's Mouth. And Tommy Max, of course, at my bar. We do it each and every week. Talking Jags, talking ball. Brought to you by our good friends at Dasher and at YOLO Rum. Let's welcome in my good friend, Coach Dave Campo. Hey, Coach.
Hi, Tom.
How are you? Looking good, man. I like that shirt.
Hey, listen, I got a little teal in there,
Yeah,
you know. I mean,
you're
I'm a
feeling
Jaguar now.
Yes,
so,
you are.
You know, but talking ball is fun.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's always fun, and now's the time where people are like, it's getting in, mini camp, and then it's getting a little quiet. Listen, there's always something going on, especially inside the organization, because they're constantly. What are they doing right now, Coach? They're getting their team ready. Mini camp starting this week, rookie mini camp. They're also thinking about game planning. They're also thinking about personnel. They're working, man. They're working. Can we better the roster even?
Listen, whether you're a coach or a player, the game is really not won on Sunday. The game is won with what they're doing right now with the team. And really, they've already studied their cut-ups and all that. So they know the things that they need to work on.
Right.
Well, now it's getting to know their players, and that's really what the mini camp, the rookie mini camp, is all about.
Right.
You know, they want to see what these guys, what they can handle. They're going to give them. They're going to throw some stuff at them.
Yeah.
Now, they've been working with them a little bit on the field with this, with the offseason, not the rookies, but the veterans.
Yeah.
But they want to see how these guys are going to fit in and what they're going to be able to do from a mental standpoint, as well as getting them on the grass and seeing them move around a little bit.
How much, as a coach, how much pressure you're putting on the rookies in this rookie mini camp? Like, what do you want to see?
Well, I want to see, first of all, what they can handle. Okay. So I'm going to put pressure on them.
You are?
Yeah, absolutely.
With the playbook
and you know what I'm going to ask them to do in the heat.
Okay.
If they're going to be outside, I don't know if they're inside or outside. But I want to see who they are, and you find out a lot more who they are than you do during the draft, and during their workouts and all that. When you got them in your building, and you're working with them, you really find out a lot during this period.
The interview period's over.
Yeah, absolutely. And you want them to understand that now they're a professional football player and not somebody that's everybody's been telling them they're great. Now prove it. You know, here's your opportunity.
And don't you also, because like some guys, they may come in and maybe not have a good camp for whatever reason. Got to kind of keep it in perspective, too.
Absolutely.
But the guys that stand out right away, you've got them pegged now. Now you're like, I got to keep my eye on this guy going.
Larry Brown, who played for us with the Cowboys, who I've mentioned many, many times because I just love the guy and what he was able to do. When he came in, right away, he's intercepting passes. Now, you can say, okay, well, but it's not the starting quarterback and it's not the whole scheme and all that.
But he's making plays.
But he made plays, and that kind of put him on the map. It didn't really say, okay, this guy's going to be MVP of Super Bowl 30, but it certainly put him on the map. So when guys come in, it's almost more mental than it is physical. But it is, if you start making some plays, whether it's with shorts or in pads, you make an impression.
Goal line scrimmages, full pads was what helped me make the team.
Oh, absolutely. I've heard you say that.
Just come up and knock the crap out of someone.
Absolutely, because you make an impression. You say, hey, right away they say, hey, McManus, one thing you know about him, I don't know if he's going to be able to handle these 7 coverages, but I know one thing, when the ball comes to him, he's going to be able to do something about it.
Absolutely. All right, Coach, as you look at our Jags to date and moving forward, do you think they're going to add more talent? Would you add more talent?
Gosh, I would. I would.
Where we're at? What position?
Well, first of all, I would definitely bring in a possible pass rusher if there's one out there.
Okay. Add to it.
I just think they made a mistake last year not bringing in a veteran, whatever it is.
Right.
Now, they have added Gibson to the 2 guys, to Walker and Josh Allen. But I feel that is so important, is affecting the quarterback. I'm okay in the secondary because I think they've got
Feel
enough
pretty good
guys
there. Yep.
where they can handle it, especially if the injury guys like Darby and guys like that can stick through it. But that position still makes me nervous. I would say Gibson, to me, is a fourth pass rusher.
Okay.
I think they need a third on the outside.
Well, you got to wonder, I mean, how do they feel about Abdullah from last year?
Yeah,
He didn't do anything last year, but maybe he's developed. I don't know.
Well,
maybe he can do something.
If you're talking about being in a situation on 1st and 10 where you've got 4 down linemen.
Right, yeah.
That's not him, I don't think.
No, I'm talking
so
coming
he's
off.
He's either a designated pass rusher or that's it, because there's no longer, they're not really linebackers anymore, because those guys aren't going to be dropping a whole lot. They're going to be rushing.
Yeah.
So
I think that 7th round pick, they're intrigued by Miles.
I'm a little intrigued with him as well.
Too.
You know, he's a developmental guy, which is what you need.
Okay.
Big guy that has some athletic ability. Perfect.
I'll tell you, look, we can talk about how they've upgraded the roster, and they have, how they look good on paper. And I know in today's day and age, especially the way practices run, it's easier said than done. But can we have a little more physicality in practice? You and I were out there pretty much every practice, and the last day they got in pads and got after it.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm not talking full speed to the ground, Coach.
Right.
Do you remember 9-on-7?
Oh, yeah.
The thud
we used to call it thud.
It was thud, but it was probably one of the more physical drills that we did against each other every week. And it was every Wednesday during the week. It was every day during camp, every practice. Right. And you're not hitting guys to the ground. You're not trying to get guys hurt, but you are coming off the ball. You're engaging. You're hitting that back. I mean, it gets really, really intense. And I know you can't get guys hurt, but I think that lack of physicality really hurt them last year because they never seemed to really get that as a group.
Well, at the end of the year, they got out physical for sure.
I know.
Okay, and you know, back in the day when we had 2-a-day practices, 2-a-days, 1-a-day, 2-a-days, 1-a-day.
That's right.
The first practice during the day was a full go.
Yep.
The second practice, we still went 9-on-7 thud.
Yeah.
And so there was a lot of hitting going on, and I think that the overall collective bargaining has changed a lot for the amount of time you can put the pads on to the amount of time you can be in the building. All of those things have changed. But I still think I'm with you that you've got to have some hitting, or you guys are not going to be ready.
I mean, Jimmy Miller and Pat Kerwin, who we both know, they were on a side. They're like, we just came from Pittsburgh during camp last year. They're like, they're hitting every day.
Yeah.
I'm like, they're hitting every day? He's like, this is crazy. These guys aren't even hitting anybody. And it's hard to evaluate when you're not being physical. Like, you could have all we heard was Devon Hamilton had a great camp.
Yeah.
But they never got physical,
really
so how do you really know what did that even mean? And he never really did show it, even before the
Here's one thing that I really agree with you on is the fact that you are definitely limited during the season how many times you can put the pads on.
And thud.
Okay.
And thud, right.
So in training camp, you better do enough to get you prepared to start the season, because eventually it's going to wear off. Yeah. You know, at least you can put them on, I think, 12 or 13 times during the season you can put the pads on. But that's not a lot.
You know, if you think about it, too, like 9-on-7 was always physical.
Yep.
Blitz period was physical.
Absolutely.
But then 11-on-11, like outside it was physical because the DBs and wide receivers are going at it. But inside it, you're just working on technique, working on the play, and making sure you're in the right
position,
spot.
Exactly.
Like thud a little bit, but it's not as physical as you think.
Right.
But those other drills, man, they really help build that mental toughness.
That builds technique, too. I mean, you know, you can't just go out there and pity pat. You got to go get somebody. You got to do what you have to do. So I'm with you. Yeah. I think we need to be more physical, and I think some of the guys they signed are more physical.
Yeah, they are.
So I think the combination of that has to happen.
I am looking forward to seeing the different attitude. I think last year, like we've said all along, they got a little bit head in the clouds. Yep. I think the coaches included. That's gone. Yep. Right? New year, reset, let's go. But I think it is going to be different. I think hopefully they learned their lesson.
Well,
you can't rest on your laurels in the NFL.
I think you just said it. I'm hopeful that last 5 out of 6, you know, is a learning experience.
Absolutely.
And if it's not, then we don't have the right people anywhere. I mean,
I agree.
That should be an organizational thing.
Yep.
Not only the football team, but all the way through the organization.
Yeah.
Ought to say, hey, we need to keep doing, we got to do more.
Agree.
We can't let that happen again.
I agree. Coach, always a pleasure, my
Yes,
friend.
sir.
You know, I
Enjoy
love
it.
talking ball with you.
Absolutely.
Always each and every week here on the Horse's Mouth, Campo's Corner with Coach Dave Campo. Make sure you check out this conversation and so many others at the DailyNewsNetwork.com website. Till next time, stay safe, be cool, and LFG Jags exclamation point. We'll see you next time right here on the Horse's Mouth. Cheers.
Cheers.
Even though we do have two different liquors, it's still one name. It's Yolo Rum, and at the end of the day, it's how you feel. And Yolo Rum, you only live once, and that's more prevalent. That's becoming more prevalent as far as the attitude and the mindset with how people live their lives. And it's not about how it used to be as far as people doing dumb stuff out here. It's more of their understanding the value of their life. And if we can bring that presence of the meaning behind life and what it means to fulfill whatever you need to fulfill in your life that makes you feel enjoyable about what you're doing, that's what YOLO will bring out as well.